This thermal compound goes on the CPU and makes a flat connection with the bottom of the heatsink to help the heatsink cool down the CPU. So take the lid off. Okay, now I've got the lid off. You only need a tiny amount. So we're just going to put a little blob in the middle. There you go. We don't need to spread it out at all, don't worry about that. When we put the fan on and tighten it up, it'll squash down and this will spread around. Now I'm going to install the CPU heatsink. Now I've got our CPU heatsink installed. We're going to install some fans inside this, which is going to help cool down the CPU. Now we've got our CPU, heatsink and fans installed, along with our RAM. Remember, if you're using the stock heatsink and fan, it's easy enough to install. Just 4 holes around it, put it in, turn these, it'll clip into place and you're good to go. It's already got the thermal compound applied, so there's nothing to worry about that. Now I'm going to install the motherboard into the case. So we've got our holes here. There's 9 holes on the motherboard. We want them to line up with these standoffs. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab it by the heatsink. Make sure it's fitting in nicely in here. You'll know when it's in place properly. See, that's in place properly now, it's not going to move. Now I'm going to go ahead and install screws into each of these standoffs, which will bolt the motherboard into the case. Now I've got the screws installed into the motherboard standoffs. That's good to go. I'm also wearing my anti-static wrist strap because I'm standing on carpet and I'll build up static electricity and I don't want to fry my components. So, next thing I'm going to install will be the video cards. Before I put my video cards in, I'm going to plug in the audio connector and the USB connector. For these ports up here, which are just routed out from the top, you'll be able to find them. So I'm going to go ahead and plug those in. There we go. It's going to ensure that the USB ports and the audio ports, I've also got the SATA one plugged in here. There's the red one. That's going to ensure all these are going to work. Now I'm going to install these plugs. These are for the reset switch, sorry, the power switch, the reset switch, and they control these LEDs here. Power LED and the disk drive LED, sorry, power LED and the hard drive LED, which let us know when the power's on and when the hard drive is being used. I've got to put them in the right ones, so what you should do is consult the manual that came with your motherboard for which one to put in which. There are little markings, see for example at the bottom left on my one, IDE LED. IDE means hard drive. I don't know why. But yeah, IDE is for the hard drive. Then you got your power switch and your reset switch. It's pretty straightforward. You know, you've got your wires. The orange one is obviously going to be the positive one, the white one will be the negative one. All the white wires are the negative wires, the coloured ones are positive wires, so you just go ahead and plug them in. If you can't figure out which ones to put in where, check the motherboard manual. In this case, mine came with this, which makes it a little bit easier. Sorry, it's upside down. If it wants to focus, there you go. So that's going to help me out a bit. I can just plug them onto there. It's a bit more easier to read than this thing. And then that will just plug straight on top of that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and after that I'm going to go ahead and plug some fans in. I've already plugged the CPU fans in because those are really hard to plug in and it would be hard for me to film me plugging them in. So I'm just going to plug the other ones in. This is a CPU fan header. And this is the kind of socket you plug it into. So simply there we go, easy as that. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that with the rest of the fans. Now if you run out of sockets to plug these into for the fans, don't worry, since you need one of these. These will be included with your power supply. And this is a Molex connector. That's the male connector. That's the female connector. This is coming from the power supply of the black cable. So I'm just going to get one of these, plug it in. There we go. And then now I have an extra one of these to plug it into. There we go. Okay, now we're getting close to completion. We need to plug these. These are the SATA power connectors. These give power to our SATA drives, which are the hard drives and the DVD drives. So we're just going to go ahead and plug these into one into our hard drive. And the other one. The next thing I'm going to install is the video cards. These are going to go into these slots here. It's a PCIe slot. That's where the video card slots onto. So first of all, I'll grab one of our cards. It's going to slot into there. See, we've got our little indent there. That's going to line up with that indent there. Right, this is going to be quite awkward. Make sure we've got our clip unclipped. That can be you want it to be unclipped, so this will slot in easily. Now I have our first video card installed. Once it's in place, the clip will lock on automatically. We need to install screws into here to hold our video card still. I'm going to use one of these. These are finger screws. They've got little marks on the side of them, so I can install them with my fingers easily. I'm only going to install one at the moment because I don't think you want to watch me install 6 screws. That will be entertaining. Okay, that's one of our video cards. So I'm just going to skip putting in the second one because I'm sure you'll figure it out if you've watched me put the first one in. Next thing I'm going to do is install the SLI bridge, which allows these two cards to synchronize with each other. That will just slot on. And as you can see here, we've got one 6-pin power connector and one 8-pin power connector. So we just got to plug all these in. These will come out of the power supply here. You'll be able to find them. So I'll just go ahead and plug those in for you. Okay, I just forgot that I was supposed to install the SATA cables before I install the top video card, because the top video card covers the SATA ports, which are there. So I'm going to go ahead and plug one of these in. Like so. And these plug in to here. This is plugging in the hard drive. We're also going to do one for the DVD drive. These are actually the same as we just did that one. Now I've got the SATA cables for the hard drive and DVD drive plugged in, along with video cards, and video cards are all powered up. Next thing I'm going to do is install this one. This is the 24-pin connector for the motherboard, right here. I'm also going to install that cable that you can see to that blue socket you can see. This will just click in. Easy as that. Now, same with this one, however that one's in more of an awkward position, so I'm just going to skip this bit. Well, here we go. My heatsink in, got my video cards in, they're all powered in, all the power plugs are fanned in, all the fans are plugged in, DVD drive's plugged in, hard drive's plugged in, power supply's plugged in. Now what I need to do is plug it on at the wall and it will run. If you're an experienced computer builder, you might be thinking right now, well, that's some good cable management, and you're right. I don't really care because I don't have a window on the side of my case, so the wires may look messy as hell, but it doesn't matter. I'm happy. I can't be bothered tying it all up. I've got a few little cable ties tying things down, but you know, it's going to do its job. So let's give it a try. Okay, put everything back where it belongs. All my stuff all plugged in. So let's watch it boot up. Now, if this is the first time you've ever put a computer together, this is where it will ask you to put your Windows install disk on. Now you can see me in the thing. Hello, that's kind of annoying. You know, it'll ask you to put your install disks in. It's pretty simple, just put the disk in and click OK and code or whatever. But I've already installed Windows on my hard drive, so it's just going to boot up to Windows. So Windows, yeah, I have a glossy screen so it reflects me whenever the screen's dark, which gets quite annoying in dark situations, but whatever, it's all good. It's better. So yeah.